Hello everyone. In this video we're going to talk about seat systems, pedestal bases, pedestal poles, and seat mounts, and the ton of different varieties out there. One thing that's cool about the Ultraskiff is that it's very customizable to a bunch of different seat systems. They essentially all do the same thing. Pole in and out, but they connect and disconnect differently. They look differently. The quality is different. The price is different. Their style is different. One thing that I think is really cool is that every Ultraskiff I see a picture of out there, it looks different. Somebody set it up a different way. Let's get to talking about all these different varieties. And also, I'll give you some insider tips on what I've learned over the years. There's some really confusing things out there as far as the actual heights of pedestals that you buy. I'm going to explain it to you in a second. First, let's start with the most common varieties. And that's just a pin style system. Now, all the different manufacturers, they all call it something different, okay? You might call it a king pin or a, I don't know, lock and pin, but they're all the same and they all fit each other. They're all interchangeable. Even if it says on the package, not interchangeable with other manufacturers' products, they all are, okay? They kind of all come from the same factories overseas. So right here, we have a nice polished stainless steel 7x7 base, pin style. Got your pole that goes in. And then you have a pin style seat mount. Most of these have a spring right there. And there you go, and then your seat will go up here. Now whenever you buy a full set of something, the measurement they're going to tell you that the pole is actually talking about the entire length from the base all the way up to the top of the seat mount. So if this was a set, although it's reading 17¼ inches total height, they're going to say, hey, this is a 17¼ inch pole, when it's really not. This is a 15-inch pole. Okay, so this is a 15-inch pedestal, but it's staying at a height of 17.5 because these type of spring style seat mounts add another 2.5 inches to it. 13-inch, I put that in there. Put my seat mount on. The total height is 15.5 inches. This is where I like to sit at. I'm about 5'9". This is what I think is, like, you know, the best for me in the skiff. And if I was to buy this in a set, they would probably say this is a 15.5 inch pedestal, when it's not. It's actually a 13-inch pedestal, but it has the seat mount on it. Now if you were to buy the pedestal by itself, and this is the confusing part, if you were going to buy the pedestal by itself, then it's going to say it's 13 inches. If you were going to buy it in a set, it would say it's 15.5. Doesn't really make sense, but that only applies to these pin style pedestals. So whenever you're shopping for these pin style pedestals, if it says 15 inches, the pedestal itself is going to be 15 inches. But whenever you're buying stuff in a set, they're going to tell you the length of the whole set, and they're going to say the pole is that length. Very confusing once again. But anyway, and then last but not least, we have an 11-inch. We'll just grab this one here. That's an 11-inch pedestal. Put the seat mount on it, and we're at a length of about 13 7/8 inches. Okay? Now one thing you can do, say you did buy an 11-inch but you wish that you had an extra couple inches, you can flip this base upside down and actually use it upside down, and this will still go into it, and that will turn your 11-inch pole into a 13-inch pole. Give it a couple more inches if you wanted it. So right here, that's a polished stainless steel one, and this one here is a brushed stainless steel, and then the next one down would be the aluminum ones that have a powder coated painting on it. We're going to move now to the next type of pedestal system, and that would be a wedge or taper lock. Two different names for them, two different manufacturers, but they're exactly the same. So here we have our wedge or taper lock insert right there. That's what it looks like on the pole, and it just squeezes in there, snaps in there really nice. Whenever you want to take it out, you pull on this tab and you take it out just like that. Now this pole is adjustable. It's a pretty unique pole. You don't see this one a lot, but in this type of insert right here, this wedge style or taper lock style, they have them in every different type, okay? Static, different lengths, pneumatic ones that adjust up and down, stuff like that. And this particular one here on the top is for a 2 3/8 seat mount. That's what these look like right here. They have a bushing in there and it just slides right over that and then rotates around. So when I bought this, even though it wasn't in a set, it's referring to the total length all the way down to the bottom. So this one is reading at its highest level 15.5 inches. 15.5 inches. Like I said, if it's not the pin style and you buy the pole by itself, it's gonna be referring to the length, including a seat mount, even though it doesn't come with it. As long as you can realize that, then the rest of this is gonna make sense. Okay? So like I said, wedge style, taper lock style, you can buy them in different lengths, and you can also buy them with different inserts for the seat mount. I'm very surprised to see this particular one that I got require a 2 3/8 seat mount. Most of the time these will just have a normal hole for a pin style seat mount. Anyway, let's move on. The next one we're going to talk about here is the plug-in style of seat system. Okay, they look like this, very nice looking. Here's a few posts we're going to talk about for a second. Okay. So here's one new in the package, but you see the difference between these two? This one has a hole right there and this one does not. They call this the plug-in and they call this the high-low plug-in. The reason they call it a high-low plug-in is that if you wanted to, you could put a seat mount through that hole. Okay? That's really it. So if it was like on the bench of a John boat, that's what the high-low would have some value, but in the skiff, no point in using that. But the two different varieties represent, some of the posts have the hole and some of them don't, but they're both adaptable to a 2 3/8 traditional style seat mount like that, both of them. Well, one of them has the hole for a pin style seat mount like this, and the other one does not. So if it says plug-in high-low, it has the additional hole for pin style seat mounts. If it just says plug-in, it doesn't have that hole and you have to use a 2 3/8 seat mount. Okay? Now with these poles, you order a 15-inch plug-in style pole, it's not 15 inches. So this is, I ordered this one, it said 15 inches on the package. And measure it, and it's 16, nearly 16.5 inches. So where did they get that 15 from? Because they're expecting you to put this in here and then this on top of this. Now we're at 15 inches from the top of the seat mount to the bottom of the base. 15 inches. That's because it doesn't have the pin on it. That's how they classify these and advertise them. Okay? So for another example, this is a 13-inch post. Okay? I bought it. Not 13 inches, it's 14.5, but when you put it in, put the seat mount on it, now your total height from here to here is 13 inches. Now this one is the high-low plug-in 12-inch post. I put that in there, I get the high-low plug-in seat mount, which is a little bit different than the normal pin style spring seat mount right here. A little bit different in its total height. And then I measure that. And now we got a perfect 12 inches to the floor. So that's where that comes from. Same thing with these. I've seen these with the pneumatic adjustable post as well as the non-pneumatic like these. So to recap on these plugins one last time, super cool, very nice, very functional, really like them. Plug-in style, high-low plug-in style. All interchangeable. Don't understand the point of that, but that's just the way it is. Okay, now let's move on to the next type. This is called a spring lock system right here. It's definitely one of the nicer looking systems right here. Nice brushed stainless steel. Pop that in and the little tab there connects right there. Okay, then you have your seat mount and that just slides right in there, nice bushing, and there you go. Spring lock system, get them in different heights, and just like I said before with these, if you buy a post We're talking about what the total length is going to be after you put the spring lock seat mount on the pole and then through the base. That's the actual length that you're saying when you buy a post. Alright, for our next one, economy pedestals. See these around a lot? It's basically welded together. You got a base, you got a mount, and you got a pole. All one unit. This one's even adjustable. It goes up and down, but when at the higher length, one complaint is that it tends to wobble the higher you go. But I've seen guys stick plastic in there, toothpicks, all kinds of stuff in there to kind of keep the wobbling down. Right here we have a swivel seat mount. Very simple, very inexpensive option right here. This does fit the whole pattern on our pedestal mounts. And you just pop this on, pop your seat on there. You need extensions. They sell 7-inch extensions that look like this. And if you haven't seen our video yet on how to build this guy right here, you can watch it on our instructional video gallery. We have a pin style seat mount. Any type of the seat mounts will attach to this, even the 2 3/8, any of them. And you can make the perfect extender to turn whatever your length is when you sit down. You pop this guy on and it puts it at the perfect length for a casting stool. Also lets you build crazy rod holders from the back of it, so check that video out. Back to the economy seat pedestal system. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Definitely a low cost option. Now let's move on to the final base, the non-detachable base. There you go. Doesn't come apart. Really meant for a big giant boat, but this was actually the very first pedestal system I ever bought for the Ultraskiff right here. This is a 2 7/8, I believe, diameter seat mount, because that's the diameter of this pole. This 9-inch round base does fit our pedestal mount, and that's about it. Now let's get back to pneumatic versus non-pneumatic. Here's a couple nice pneumatic pedestals. All the different type of pedestals we showed you today, they all have pneumatic options out there. This one here, when you buy one, sometimes they come with the seat mount attached, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they'll have a hole for a pin style or something else on there. So definitely pay attention to that. But these particular ones right here come with the seat mount, and whatever measurements they have on the package is going to be referring to the total length of the seat mount all the way down to the bottom of the pole. This one's reading 15.5, and it's going to go all the way up to about 22 inches. Right here we have a pneumatic casting stool. When it's all the way compressed down, it's at the perfect length for me, 22.5 inches. And that'll go all the way up to about 29 inches. Okay, I think we really learned a lot today, but let's just look at the seats really quick. Here's an example of just a padded flip-up seat. Tons of these out there. Be mindful of these seats because they're very thick, so that's adding height. So sometimes you have to calculate that in with these types of seats. This is a plug-in high-low style seat mount on there. This is one of my favorite seats, especially for big game fishing. This is like an actual molded boat seat for like an offshore boat, but man, is it comfortable on the skiff. And I got that on a pneumatic pedestal right there. Got the 3-rod rack bolted in. And here's another example right there. This is just your normal molded flip-up seat. Really like this design. I like how wide it is. It cradles you really nice. I got the 3-rod rack on there and a pin style spring-loaded seat mount. Right here we have a 22.5 inch pneumatic casting stool with the 3-rod rack hanging off the back. Well, that just about wraps it up. I hope everyone learned a lot. If anyone has a question about any of the stuff I showed you, or you can't find any of it to buy, or you don't quite know what length you're getting, reach out to us anytime. I'll definitely answer your questions for you and help you out any way I can. Thanks a lot for watching. Check out our website at ultraskiff.com, and as always, tight lines.